everybody, welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books, and for Christmas this year I'm doing 7 books of Christmas, where I'm taking one book for each day of the week leading up to Christmas, and this is the last book. Last year, when I did my book Reviewmas, which was a book for every day of December leading up to Christmas, I didn't include a single Christmas book, and I felt like I needed to rectify that this year. So if you've seen the other ones, you'll realise that none of them so far have been Christmas books, but today's is, and it's called Christmas for One, and it's by Amanda Prowse, and I read this book on BorrowBox, which is connected to my library. So that is the cover of the book, Christmas for One. Yay, we got a Christmas book! Can you see how excited I am about the fact that I've actually got a Christmas book this year? Blurb for you. Let's get all Christmassy in here, if we can. Christmas music, Christmas decks, Christmas everything. Yay! As a child, Meg always dreamed of the perfect Christmas. This year, she can make it come true for her own little boy. There will be turkey and all the trimmings, a glittering tree, and a stocking hung up by a roaring fire. Who cares if there's no devoted husband in the picture? She and Lucas will be just fine on their own. But then, a chance meeting with a stranger in New York unravels everything she's planned. Will Meg finally get everything she wished for, or will she be alone this Christmas after all? This read like a cheesy Christmas movie that you watch on Channel 5 in the month leading up to Christmas. Specifically November. You'll know what I'm talking about, people who like Christmas movies. I think November, this time of year, is when all the cheesy Christmas movies start on Channel 4 and Channel 5. And this book definitely read like one of those books. It's set in England. It's an English Christmas book, and basically Meg is helping to open a bakery in New York. And basically it's really, really close to Christmas, and her friend says, will you go out to New York and just make sure everything's going right, because it sounds like things are going wrong. So a couple of weeks before Christmas, she heads out to New York to fix what's happening at the New York location of this bakery, which hasn't opened yet. And after the flight and everything, she goes to a food shop where she's basically completely overwhelmed by how fast everything is. While everybody else is just reading off all the sandwiches and stuff they want, she's just there, deer in headlights, wondering what on earth she's trying to order, when a snarky New Yorker starts calling her Mary Poppins, telling her to hurry up, and she hates him. She actually hates him in that moment, and is like saying, my name's not Mary, it's not Mary Poppins, will you stop bothering me? She's very angry, possibly a bit hangry, because I mean she is trying to get food in that position after all, and she's also just gotten off a plane, so she's tired, and that's her first introduction to a man who turns out to be her love interest. That's their meet cute, as they call it. So a week in America, she realises that the guy who she ran into in this food shop is an architect, I think it is. I want to say it's an architect, and he's involved in sorting stuff out for the bakery. So after their off-chance meeting, while she's trying to get food, she then sees him the next day in front of the bakery, introducing himself, and she's there going, oh no. And they basically end up falling in love on the week that she's in New York, and it gets to the point where she doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to leave him, but at the same time, she needs to go home to her child and her real life back in London. And that's when things start to go a little more skew-iff. She's aware of an ex-girlfriend that may or may not still be in his life. And that's where it starts to kind of bring in the whole, was she going to be alone for Christmas situation? Because while she's trying to make sure that her son has the perfect Christmas, the Christmas that she never had when she was a child, because she was estranged from her family, and at this point it seems everything that she is trying to do to make sure that her little boy has the perfect Christmas, everything that's happening makes it seem like she's not going to get the Christmas that she wants for him. And basically it comes to a point where she wants to go back to New York, and her friends want to take her boy to Barbados for Christmas, or as they call it in the book, Barbados, which I think is really cute. So in there you've got an interesting relationship with her mother who shows up, who she has a very, very complicated relationship with. She wants the perfect family and the perfect Christmas, and this book is kind of that little reminder that, you know, Christmas isn't always the perfect time of year. In my family, I like Christmas because it brings us all together. For some people it might not be the same, and this book kind of shows you that Christmas is kind of what you want to make of it, and ultimately you can choose your family, and your family and your friends are who you need to be with at Christmas. And this reiterates the fact that obviously she doesn't have a great relationship with her mother. When her mother does show up, it's all a bit questionable, and she realises she doesn't need her mother in her life to have the perfect family. It's just a really nice, proper Christmas story of reminding you what's actually important. Because I'll admit, the character of Meg, she's a little bit of a pushover. She's a bit naive, and, you know, when certain things happen in the book, internally I was there going, oh no, Meg, please see what's happening here, and she just doesn't, and that's a little bit of a frustrating moment when you realise what's happening and you're just like, oh, the poor little character doesn't know what's coming. But yeah, it's all that big question mark over, is she going to end up spending Christmas alone despite everything she's put in place to have the perfect Christmas? And, you know, having to go out to New York and meeting this guy who she thinks she's fallen in love with, how that will affect her and her boys' Christmas. Very quickly you find out that her husband died, and that was also the point when she found out he was also having an affair, but she's still close with her husband's family. And it's that whole thing of, like, she's nervous to tell her husband's family that she's probably moved on. I mean, it happens when her boy is, I think she's pregnant with the boy when her husband dies. And at this point, I can't remember how old he is. I want to say it's about 5 or 6. It's just a proper cheesy Christmas story that I can imagine as a cheesy Christmas film that I'd watch on Channel 4 or Channel 5 in November. It's 368 pages. Its genre is general fiction, and its target audience is adults. I wouldn't say it was that adult. It's nothing, you know, it's not particularly sweary, you know. It's just a nice Christmas book. I wouldn't say it was a children's book, but I definitely think that, like, young adults would enjoy this. Christmas for One by Amanda Prowse. Just a nice, cheesy Christmas story in book form. I don't really read many Christmas books, but I was determined to make sure there was a Christmas book involved in my 7 books of Christmas this year. So there we go. Christmas for One, Amanda Prowse. I'll pop a link to where you can find it in the description. Happy Christmas, everybody. Or happy holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. I think we need to do a cyber hug here. Come on. Come on. There we go. I hope you enjoyed that hug. The virtual hug. So, happy Christmas. Happy holidays. I hope that things work out for you. And have a lovely new year. Hopefully we can all look back on this year and think of 2021 as just being a little bit better. Happy Christmas. I'll see you next time with another video. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. I have big plans for the channel in 2021. Happy holidays. Sometimes I just look at people and just say, just give me a hug, please just give me a hug. Sorry, that was my iPad hitting my computer. So this is the cover. Can you see it? Oh, that's the end. I've lost it, I've lost it, I've lost it. No, no, where's it gone?